brief internet connectivity hiccup. We're back here with Tim, who is explaining how exactly he builds up this freelancer network that he can pass off excess clients or clients that he does not have time for to people for him to pass off the
Yes.
clients to.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Tell us more.
And now you wanted to know like how I actually do it, how I reach out to the client, to the freelancer.
How do you build up? How do you build the circle of freelancers exactly?
Well, I guess it started off with the first project. So I posted it on LinkedIn because um, I had a project. I didn't have the time to take on the project myself. So I posted it on LinkedIn, just like on the homepage. So the basic place for posting any post on LinkedIn, um, asking, so who of you has the time and the skills to take on this project? And so maybe you recognize that whenever a project is posted on LinkedIn, it gets it gets loads of responses, and not only by um, in my case, copywriters or content marketers themselves, but also people mentioning copywriters and content marketing. So I got a really long list of people who do the same thing as me. And the interesting thing about that was obviously that they were all people that have time to take on new projects. So I
Mm-hmm.
reached out to all these freelancers and I got to know them, and I explained the way I work, and they were all kind of excited. They were all like, yeah, that's a fair construction. So whenever you've got a new project, just refer it on to me and let's see if this works.
All right. And what is the commission that you take for passing on projects and clients to other freelancers?
So 90% of all the income is for the freelancer, and
Mm-hmm.
10% of all the income from that client for the first year, is for me. And what I charge for, so what I do is I reach out to the client to get to know the project. Um, I make sure I find the right freelancer for that job. Um, then I explain the project to the freelancer. I check if he has the time, if he has the skills. Um, then I send the extra information I was provided by the client to that freelancer. If he confirms, like, yes, I've got the time and I'm really excited about this project, so just connect me. Then I connect them together. I introduce that freelancer with a story to the client by an email, and then from there they arrange everything themselves. And then afterwards, like I keep in touch, like, how's it going? When do you start? Um, and then they send their invoices, the freelancer, to me, and
Mm-hmm.
I invoice them based on their invoices, 10%.
Gotcha. Because one of the questions that I had when you were first telling me about this method is I didn't know if there was a certain portal on LinkedIn or if there was a certain kind of LinkedIn group. But as you were saying just a moment ago, you literally just posted on your homepage and everybody in your
Yeah,
network saw it, posted, tagged friends of theirs that you might not have been connected with, and
yeah.
then you basically made a list of people that you talked with and could get to know. So
Yeah,
I, I
but
s-
that's actually a good idea to post it in groups as well, because
mhm.
I just posted it on my homepage, and I guess the benefit from that is because you're not posting in a certain group with very specific skills or very specific people, people who know people also respond to your post. So
Mhm.
mentioning people they know who do have the skills. So it's just a different thing, but it's actually a good idea.
Mm.
Um, but I have to tell you, like, that is just I just did that for the first project, to create that list, and now I have got that list like a spreadsheet, and now I make sure that when I've got a new project and I won't take it on myself, I reach out to one specific freelancer on that list. Um, um, so I'm sure I know that freelancer. I've talked to that freelancer. I know what his experience is. I
Hmm.
know what skills he has, and then I connect them together
Right, because there is this.
instead of posting a new post every time.
Right, because it does sort of beg the question of how well you're getting to know the freelancers that you pass the
Yeah,
projects onto. Because
yeah,
depending on how well you vet them, like there'd be the difference of tapping into your personal network, the network that you just mentioned building, versus throwing out a post on Upwork, for instance, and getting like 40
yeah.
replies from people you've never
That would be very
communicated with.
different. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um, but yeah, if you could just say, if you, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add on that as far as what, because it sounds like it would affect your personal reputation or,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Like I guess there are two strategies, right? So either you can focus on I want to have as many freelancers on that list as I can, and I just want to refer as many projects as I can, and I want to generate as much money as I can. So you kind of focus on quantity. Then posting on LinkedIn or even websites as Upwork might be a good idea. But what I do is because I think when you value your brand or your personal brand
mhm,
and your reputation, I guess it's really important that you make sure that the freelancer you refer is actually a really good freelancer. You can trust that freelancer to deliver really good work, because your reputation will be damaged if you refer a freelancer and he does a shitty job.
mhm.
Um, that's not going to do you any good. So that's why I stick to freelancers I really know, like I've worked with them before or I talked to them before and they're on that specific list.
Right, right. And it sounds like, so LinkedIn was your personal vehicle for doing this, but it sounds like so long as you have any, like any network or social media tool available to you that can get you in touch with the right people, that other things like Facebook or Facebook groups,
Yeah, of
or
course. Yeah.
other social networks could be really, really handy for building this network. It's just a matter of, it sounds
Yeah.
like at least it's a matter of just putting in the time to make sure you get the right people.
Yeah, yeah. So I just started with LinkedIn because to me, LinkedIn is extremely important, and that's the place where I generate my leads. Well, 50% of all my leads come
Mm,
through LinkedIn,
mm,
but that might be very different for any freelancer. So it's just a matter of create a list with freelancers who are interested in taking new projects in the field you work into. And it doesn't really matter if you generate that list using LinkedIn or Facebook or Upwork or whatever.
hmm. How much? So you said that it's 10% for the first year that a client is with a freelancer you pass it on to. How much have
Yeah.
you been able to make with this so far, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't mind. So I'm not doing this for a very long time. I just started to do this because just like reached the point where I am full of work and more projects are coming my way.
Hmm.
So until now, I made just a couple of €100 doing this. But now I'm working on a lead, and that will probably that's probably heading towards becoming a deal, and that will generate €500 per month because that is a huge project and that
Hmm.
client is paying really well. So the freelancer will make €5,000 per month.
Hmm.
That's just an estimate, but it will be something around that. And I will invoice him for 10%. So that will be €500 per month.
That's good money. That's really good money.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really nice. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just even for freelancers that don't necessarily have um, the an excess amount of clients, even for freelancers who are still sort of struggling to build a consistent pipeline, even they will sometimes have more work than they can do at a particular time, or there'll be one client that's very demanding who they simply don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
time for, or they would like to pass on because that might not be the right fit. Um,
Yeah.
it just seems the implications of this particular method are pretty wide reaching.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it also provides you with more flexibility because when, like you mentioned, if you're working for a client and he wants to For example, you're a copywriter and your client, he wants more and more and more content, and you're not able to keep up, or you want to go on holidays, or you want to do something else. You can actually use that same list of freelancers for that purpose as well.
All right, awesome. And I think we're at the point where we can move on to some of the questions that some other freelancers have had for you.